What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bronx Pinstripes Show. Scott, I got a kick out of all of the articles this week talking about Aaron Judge being the captain and how it's going to change things on the Yankees. And every single article that you read was like, oh, it's not going to change a thing. It's like, well,
but the headline's going to change.
Everything's changed now that Aaron Judge is captain. We talked to key players. Oh, nothing's going to change.
He's the same guy. Nothing's going to change. Yeah, it's funny because you got to grab those headlines, but at the same time, if you try to make it out to see that Aaron Judge, because of some kind of a status change or a promotion of sorts, is going to change that dude, then you're barking up. Whoever fell for those headlines, shame on you.
Hand up. Everyone put their hand up.
Yeah. No, man, he's going to be even keeled. He's going to be the same guy. Does he feel a little bit more internal pressure? Maybe. He won't show it though.
What do you think he feels more internal pressure from? The captaincy or the contract?
I think it's hard to put them in different buckets because there's a responsibility factor now for him so let me rephrase. Let me come back from this a little bit. I think there is added pressure to Aaron Judge now because internally, because now the expectations for him are 1,000%. They were before, but they really are now. Now that you're going to be here long term, you're now the captain. He understands that your legacy in pinstripes is cemented by championships. So unless he gets to that point and gets over the hump, then it will not be a successful run in a lot of people's eyes. So I think that pressure is going to amount on him. Probably not. If they don't win this year, then obviously it'll get more and more pressurized. But I don't think he'll show it outwardly. I really don't. He's just that same even keel guy. Again, I've compared him to Jeter in a lot of ways just because of the mannerisms. He's got a lot of Jeter-esque mannerisms, and there's just not a lot of things that you can tell if someone's either bothered or overly happy or any of the above. They're just even keeled, which is a good thing to have, I think, as a leader on your team.
But you know what he has going for him that relieves pressure because the fans cut him some more slack is the fact that he's homegrown. They always treat their homegrown players differently than the free agent players. Obviously, the biggest example is Jeter versus A-Rod, but just go down the list. Any free agent that signs a massive deal is so much quicker to get booed than a homegrown player who's struggling just the same, but you give him more slack because he's homegrown. It doesn't matter if Judge signed the biggest contract in team history. He's homegrown. So he's always going to get less shit than Stanton or Cole or anyone else who might have signed a big free agent contract or, Stanton didn't sign a free agent contract.
Well, why do you think that is? The reason that is because the success that this guy's had to get to this point to sign that contract came in Yankee pinstripes.
No, but
the Yankees
it's
saw
silly.
Him going
it's
through.
Silly.
It's not that silly.
It's kind of silly.
But there's a history there that
I know.
I
understand why it happens, but if Judge signed the biggest
it's
contract,
not silly.
in team
It actually
history,
makes a lot of sense. Like
it
psychologically, it makes a ton of sense.
But as a fan, if Judge is struggling, if you want to boo or not boo, like I don't give a crap. Whatever you do, it's your own time, it's your own dollar that you're spending to go to the game. If you want to boo someone who strikes out 4 times in a game, by all means boo. But you should boo Judge who strikes out 4 times, just the same as you should boo Stanton who strikes out 4 times.
If I've known you for a long time now, if I make a joke that pisses you off, I know it will. I'm pushing. I'm hitting buttons here. Okay, and I make said joke. As opposed to some new guy that comes in and is a guest on the show or, is just a new person in your life, then you're going to take these things differently because there's a history with the person and you understand them, you know them. I know Aaron Judge. I don't know him personally, but I know him as a baseball player. I know him as a Yankee, and that goes a very long way in any fan base. This is not just a Yankee thing. This is a Yankee thing. It's a big Yankee thing, but we live in that world. We understand that world. I promise you it's the same. It's a similar sentiment across the league. But of course, the new guy, you're paying him all this money when he did it for some other team. Mm-hmm. If he's not doing it for you, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why
it's a solid
pay
analogy.
Him if he's over there?
That's a solid analogy. But whether Aaron Judge hits a home run or strikes out, that's not a direct personal attack on me, even if I might take it as a direct personal attack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you grounded into a double play with the bases loaded. I know you didn't do that on purpose, and you did not do it just to offend me, but I'm offended just the same.
When Joey Gallo stood up to the plate, I was offended. I took it personally every single time. It didn't even matter what he did. He stood up to the plate. I took that personally. I was offended that that man was wearing the uniform that I've always wanted to wear for my entire life. As a little kid, this jackass gets up there, swings at air and nothing else, and is allowed to do that? No, I take that very personally.
Well,
He didn't earn that shit.
In staying on the Judge theme, Boone was talking this week, and he said we can get creative in finding ways to play Stanton in the outfield. And then I know some reporters did some follow-up digging on this. And what that means is Judge potentially getting some time in left field when Stanton is playing the outfield to put Stanton in right field, especially at Yankee Stadium. Left field is so much harder to play than right field at Yankee Stadium. And Judge at this point is just a better athlete than Stanton. He's more durable than Stanton, even if he might not be the most durable person. He's been durable the last
Knock
two
on wood,
seasons.
please.
Yeah. And so that's an interesting option. Judge has never played left field in his career. He's played center field, obviously, never left field.
Yeah, but how many times did he play center field before he played center field? Not a ton.
No, I'm just, but like, that's not to say he can't do it. I obviously know that Judge can play left field. If you can play center field at the major league level, you can play left field.
Well, that's what I'm
right
saying.
Field.
He's shown that he can take on new challenges like this and adapt well.
He played 3 innings in left field in the 2018 All-Star game. I just did not remember that. Didn't he hit? He hit a home run in that game. I think I remember. That was at. Is that at Washington?
Was that at Washington? Yeah, I was going to say, what stadium was it?
Washington.
Bullpen. Yep.
Severino in the bullpen?
No, caught it in the bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
Bullpen, and it was in Washington, correct?
So, yeah, he could play left field, or you could put him in center field and Bader in left field and Stanton in right field.
Keep Bader in center field.
Listen,
keep Bader your center fielder.
I like that they would do this because if it means Stanton can play the outfield 25% of the time, 30% of the time, and it's going to be in right field, I think that's a massive benefit to this team.
So does this completely get rid of load management? Because if you're going to shift him over to left field, that means someone else is going into right field, and you still need him in the lineup. That means you're not going to put him at DH. You're going to put him in the outfield. So
he'll still get his days off.
Will he? I mean, but what's the point of doing that during the regular season as much, unless you're just preparing for the playoffs? Like, this seems like a, let's get ready for the playoff type option so that we can trot out our best lineup, and include another bat at DH.
But it's also to keep Stanton conditioned for the outfield. It's to make sure that Judge can get comfortable in left field. I mean, there's a million reasons to do it. You're not going to do it 7 days a week. It's not crucial to do it in the regular season, but I think it's smart to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to see if they did it. I think I have a ton of confidence in Judge going over there. I'm not worried about the whole load management piece with him. I think they will get his rest when they need it. But I like it for playoff scenarios. I like having options in the playoffs where you can match up against a particular pitcher, match up against, in a park, with as much flexibility as you can have to put the best lineup on the field. I think that's, the best thing to do for a team. And
I'm at the point.
Why not fuck around in the regular season? That's the time to do it.
This isn't, if you call this fucking around. Stanton's going to get injured this year, right? We all agree Stanton will go on the IL this year at some point. So whether he
why are you so pessimistic with the injury?
Because that's just, you got to build that in.
You
got to build that in. You got to build that into Stanton's season. But it's going to happen whether he's DHing or playing the outfield. So just play him in the outfield.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, right? It's like you could DH him 97% of games, and he's still going to come up with something. Oh, hamstrings barking. My shoulder hurts. My calf. I got hit with a pitch in the bicep, and my calf hurts. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, sometimes you need to get pain in one area so that you forget about it in another area. But they're going to do this. Like he's going to. We saw what happened when he played in the outfield a little bit more consistently.
Yeah,
I think he's just a better baseball player. His timing's better. Like the feel for the game is better.
He was a monster.
All of these things that we're talking about, like he's not a true DH because of the fact that he can go out there and play a position at a above average level. I mean, he's played at a high level.
Can you guys look up what Stanton's DRS in right field has been? I mean, so here's the caveat to this. It's always been in limited time, so it's going to be a little difficult. But when So he played 72 games in the outfield in 2018. And I know a lot of those were in right field because Judge missed significant time when he got hit by that pitch in 2018. And so he played a lot of time in right field. And I know 2018 is a long time ago. But since 2018, he's played only 77 games in 4 seasons in the outfield. And his most was last year, 38 games. And a lot of those 38 games last year came in the first half of the season. And Stanton was an all-star for the first half of the season. And he was pretty bad in the second half of the season. I'm not saying it's directly correlated to playing the outfield, but shit, the guy has even said, I hit better when I play the outfield. And he is a solid right fielder. He's not as good as Judge, but he's a solid right fielder.
So let me ask you a question. How many games has he played in left field in his career?
Who? Stanton?
Yeah.
I don't know if I had to guess 40, 45, 50. That's my guess.
And when he was in Miami, what position was he primarily
playing? He was a right fielder.
He was playing right field.
Yeah, asking me trick
60
questions.
games in left field for his career. And he's got a career 116 OPS plus in left field.
Okay. How many games has Aaron Judge played in left field? Did we say? I forget.
0, except
0. That's right.
3 innings.
So why not just put Stanton in left field? The guy
I already told you, Stanton, right field at Yankee Stadium is way smaller. It's way easier to play.
It's smaller, and you're still going to be out there. You're still conditioned.
Okay, since you're being a little wise asking me rhetorical questions, let me answer your question with a question.
Now, what if someone new came in here and asked you rhetorical questions?
I'd be just as pissed. Who's the better outfielder?
Aaron Judge.
Uh-huh.
It's not a question.
Who is more durable?
I'm not going to go out and say that. There's question marks on both big
but
bodies.
Who's more durable?
Okay.
Okay.
Just because you got to run, just because it's a higher level of difficulty.
Let me ask you one more question. Who's the motherfucking captain of the New York Yankees?
Exactly. So why you moving him around to 80 positions?
He's got his contract. He's the captain. I'm just doing what's best for the team. Yeah, put me in left field. But I'll take reps at first base. Shit, I could be the backup first baseman. You want me to catch? I'll catch. I'll be the emergency catcher. You want me to pitch? I bet you Judge could clock at 97 miles an hour off the mound.
Yeah, it's gonna hit the backstop, but
the intimidation factor.
It'll hit 97 when it hits the backstop because he's got that sustained velocity. If Stanton can play left field as well, it's not like it is a harder position. That doesn't necessarily mean you're more injury prone for playing the harder position. That's more of a skill level thing.
There's literally more ground to cover in left field.
I understand, but you also have Harrison Bader. You also have Harrison Bader, who is, one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. My point is, I don't mind if they move things around, but why are we not thinking about having Stanton play in left field? He's done it before. He's done it many times before. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult of a thought to get him out there. And by the way, they don't play all of their games at Yankee Stadium, in case you were wondering.
No, but you play half your games at Yankee Stadium. So,
right.
So if you can get him more time in Yankee Stadium right field than you can in other right fields.
I mean, half you could do what you want, but it's, you go on a road trip and there's a left field to play. Why not get them conditioned to play there? And there was a stat in the notes here that in what year was it that Judge had a 21 defensive run save?
21
in
right
right
I was
field.
looking this up this morning.
And where did that go? Where did that go when he started playing right field and then center field? So there's an argument to be made to keep one guy at one position.
I don't know. So Judge, we all agree, fantastic right fielder. 21 DRS in 2019 in right field. That's the highest of his career. That's amazing.
That's ridiculous.
Last year he was only +2 in right field, +1 in center field. And I think in Judge's other seasons in right field, he was hovering around like the +10, +11. 21 is out of control. Do we have any reason why it was so high? Did he throw out a bunch of runners in 2019 or something crazy? I don't know.
There was probably some correlation
out of control.
Yeah, I guarantee there are correlations to outs. So he probably had a good amount of putouts. And then the center field situation in 2019. I'm thinking of how much consistency there was in center field.
There was Hicks, obviously. There was Brett Gardner, but I don't think Brett Gardner was playing center field at that point. Was he in 2019? Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing some. When you have more consistent play in center field, it gives you a lot more options and flexibility and confidence, I think, playing the corners. A guy like Harrison Bader is going to make a big difference in how they shrink the field. So Aaron Judge in right field, you are basically putting a blanket across center and right field with those two guys out there. For me, I want Judge to get into that rhythm, get into a good, communication situation with Bader, and get those putouts up, because guys are going to be running a lot more this year. We're all these rule changes, and I've been watching as many videos as possible and really looking more into the pitch clock and the large bases that are going. And I really believe even more so than I did last week.
Going around of the bases. So
yeah, some of them are.
No, it was like a cartoonishly sized base and then like a little tiny like baby base, and someone was like,
"There's one of Aaron Judge
is doing this."
Yeah, with Altuve standing on the base, and he's like an ant. Yeah. But it's there's going to be more aggressive play on the base path. It's going to happen. So
wait, you think the base size is going to have something to do with aggressive base running outside of stolen bases?
Yeah, I think also the shift as well. You're going to see more gaps. You're going to see guys taking more bases. Yeah, I do. I think guys are going to take more bases. Look, how many plays are bang bang that we see all the time? You're getting an extra 2 inches on the bag.
We talked about that 2 inches last week. It's very important.
It is. And the other thing that we didn't really talk about is, has the distance from the pitcher's mound to home plate changed? No, it has not. So the catchers, the guys who have the fastest release, the guys who come home I know I'm getting into the stolen base piece too, but that's not changing. But the base path is.
The stolen base thing, I agree with. Between the pitch clock and the size of the bases, I think that definitely will impact the stolen base numbers. But
it's going to change philosophy, that's for sure. It's going to change philosophy.
I don't know if it's going to really
doing it.
Impact base running to balls hit.
So the bigger bases are a piece of the conversation there. Mm-hmm. But the fact that there is no shift, there are a lot more lanes for the ball to get through.
The ball will be hitting the outfield more.
Correct. So you have a ball that is slow hit into right field that starts trickling down that line that would either could potentially be cut off by a shortstop that's over there.
Yeah, it might open up more opportunities to do hit and runs and stuff like that, just because it's
going to change how the outfields are positioned as well. So guys are not going to be positioned in the same way that they would in the outfield as if there were an infield shift. So I think we're going to see a lot more aggressive play on the base path, which I am like very, very, very excited for, because I think it's really going to help the game. But I think that, again, like the infield, because I think that's what's getting the most shine as far as the athletes and how it's going to change. You're going to see more athletic plays. You're going to see more of the guys that can range get their flowers for the range that they can get in the infield. But you're also going to see the outfielders. You're going to see a lot more throws to the different bases. You're going to see them taking different angles because they're positioned differently because there is no shift. You're going to see a lot of the play in the outfield, I think, be adjusted as well. And there's going to be an acclimation period. But guys like Judge, who can cover a ton of ground and have a hose, you're going to see them do some fun things. And I think that a lot more runners are going to test those guys too.
So closing some of those open questions we had as we were talking about this. So in 2019, Judge had 7 assists from right field, which ranked 3rd in the league. He did actually have 9 in 2018. So he had more in 2018. But again, 2019, he was just off the charts for DRS. Gardner played 97 games in center field in 2019, which is obviously a lot. Okay. So the next bit of news that I wanted to talk about is Carlos Rodon in his first comments as a New York Yankee in spring training.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Andrew, before you move on, I'm sorry. But to me, what's the takeaway from that then? Because he had more putouts in 18.
No, I wasn't saying one or the other. It's just, for whatever reason, in 2019, he was significantly better in right field. Maybe his range was better or something like that. It's obviously not correlated to assists.
But maybe his range was tighter. Maybe that's why. If you have a guy like Brett Gardner,
do you remember us talking about
he has speed, 97 games, like you're covering more ground. You don't have to cover as much ground in right field if you're Aaron Judge. And what that does is that allows you to concentrate in a smaller area and be more aggressive in that area. Thus,
do you remember
making good plays.
Do you remember talking about how Judge was being not as aggressive in the outfield in 2018 because that's how he hurt himself in 2017, was running into a wall.
Yeah.
So 2018, we were kind of like, he's kind of just making the plays he needs to make, and he's not going to dive for a ball. He's not going to run into a wall. And then in 2019, I don't think that was the case. I think he was playing the position naturally as he wanted to play it. And that meant diving for balls, running and jumping at the wall, all that kind of stuff. So maybe that had a factor.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that when you have a confidence that you don't have to cover the entire right and center, right center field as well, that you have a guy there who will cover that ground, that just gives you a smaller concentration area. So I think that's what we're going to see with Aaron Judge this year. So I want him to get as much time in right field as possible. Okay.
Carlos Rodon took a little shot at Giants fans. He said they're less invested than New York Yankees fans. Carlos Rodon, who has played 0 games for the New York Yankees, has been in Yankees Spring Training for exactly 10 minutes. Right. Saying that the bad offseason for the Giants, bad offseason for Giants fans. They lose 2 free agents. They end up, who was their actual signing? Who was their big actual signing? Was it Conforto?
Conforto and Mitch Haniger.
Oh, nice. Giants gonna win a solid 76 games this year. And then their Carlos Rodon, their best.
If they win 76 games, that would be a feat.
You think they're not going to even win 76 games?
No, I don't think. They just lost their best pitcher.
I mean, 76 games is bad. It's below 500. Fine.
It is below. That's weird. I didn't know that.
So yeah, and then Rodon's being like, yeah, those fans aren't invested out there.
Well, I think, it's just the level of social media. He's getting, his Instagram followers probably went up a solid.
That's
80%.
true. And everyone knows that the most diehard Yankees fans are on Instagram
and Twitter. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure that if you, when you see your account, you're like, oh man, these guys care.
Carlos Rodon,
a lot of people in my comments, a lot of people commented on like my sunrise picture that I put up today. They care about everything.
Here's what I hope for Rodon is that he understands what Yankees fans are, and that if I'm good, they're going to love me and embrace me. And if I'm bad, they're going to tell me I suck. And I just need to take that for what it is. And when I pitch bad, I need to stand in front of my locker and say, I was not good today. I'm going to get better and move on and not let it eat at him or try and make excuses or any of that stuff. I know we say this every year. The Yankees bring in a new player or a new free agent, but it is so important. Just own up to it and move on.
For whatever it's worth, it does feel like he's that kind of guy.
I hope so.
It just on the surface and just hearing him talk and just the mannerisms, he doesn't seem like a guy that's got a lot of fluff or a guy that, blames much of anybody else but himself. So I'm excited for it. I think that he's going to be very good. He's got that chemical makeup, I think, to be here.
All right. Devi Garcia. He's facing a bit of a crossroads this spring. Devi Garcia. Do you remember him? Game 2 ALDS starter.
Number 1 pitching prospect, Devi Garcia, for a solid bit.
Game 2 ALDS 2020 starter.
Right.
For the New York Yankees.
Yes.
Has not appeared in the majors. Has he appeared in the majors since then? Did he pitch in 2021? I don't think he pitched last year, right? I mean, whatever it is, he's been in the minors. He's been regressing. He's no longer a top prospect.
He's been bad in AAA, too.
He's been bad. He's been walking the ballpark. He is out of minor league options and facing a DFA situation if he does not make the team out of spring training. This is a guy that was like you said, the number 1 pitching prospect for the Yankees, or number 2 pitching prospect. He did pitch 3 games in 2021. A guy that they did not want to give up.
Pedro Comps.
A guy they did not want to give up in trades. And I'm not even necessarily blaming the trades that we ended up finding, but Devi was involved in 2019 trade deadline talks. Cashman did not want to move him for a rental option. There was brief consideration flipping him to the Mets for Syndergaard, which would have been wild. And also the Jays wanted Glaber and Devi Garcia for Marcus Stroman, which would have been an awful trade for the Yankees. So
that's a bad trade,
even though Devi Garcia has not panned out. But the point remains, he was in trade talks. You could have potentially gotten something really good for him in 2019 or 2020. They made him off limits. And once again, a prospect that they have hugged has completely blown up and failed.
Yeah, a pitching prospect as well. And maybe that's why, because they don't have very many of them that they believe in. And obviously someone over there. Look, I mean, the biggest thing with Devi Garcia, and it always has been his Achilles heel in the minor leagues, is his control. If the guy isn't over the plate and can't control the strike zone from the beginning of the count, he's in deep shit because he doesn't have enough of the stuff to put guys away and to fight back in like very obvious fastball counts. And that's a huge problem for him. If he's falling behind consistently, he's going to get hit because his fastball is not a put away pitch. It's not one. He's got some deception there, but it's not one that he could just rest on as being a put away pitch, especially if he doesn't have that control. So yeah, that's it. Like, control the strike zone and he'll be in a better spot. I'm sure he's got some work to do on his psychological part of his game at this point, but Shelly Duncan's there now. So Shelly Duncan is who I believe in, and maybe Shelly Duncan will infuse some energy in
well, that's if he ends up pitching.
He'll accept his option.
Yeah. So
you will accept your option.
Well, we can never actually get an answer on this, but how much do you think they're dicking around with him in game 2 of that playoff series impacted?
0.
Really?
0. Yeah. 0.
Mentally, you don't think that messed him up at all?
No, he was happy to be there. I don't think that it has anything to do with it. How does that affect him?
He pitched well for the Yankees. He pitched well for the Yankees in 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, he started because he pitched well. We thought he was going to be the starter because he was pitching well. We didn't think they were doing some little opener bullshit.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, that's why I think that he had a lot of confidence and things were going well that year. I don't think one decision that was made no sense to anybody.
Can we say it did?
I think he is just one of these guys that if he's not mechanically perfect, he's in trouble. And that's where we are.
Estevan
and
Florial.
You see the drop off with a guy like that because he doesn't have the overpowering stuff that can like bail him out of shit. He's got to paint the corners. He's got to be around the plate. He's got to be right. He's got to have deception in his windup. He's got to have separation and speed with his pitches. He's not a guy that can come in there and just sit on a fastball and overpower people. Logan.
So he pitched in 6 games in 2020, which was his rookie season. They brought him up out of necessity. What do you guys think his ERA was?
I don't know.
It wasn't 3.7. I think it was like
7.
I'm going to say,
I don't remember.
4.6.
No, it wasn't
4.98.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
It was higher than we thought. Yeah.
Wait, why did he get? Then why did we? Then what?
He started off hot.
The perception that people have of him in the majors is definitely different than what it actually was.
Yeah.
When you look at his game log, he had the really good game when he came up against the Mets. That's 6 shutout innings in his debut. But after that, like, he was just okay. I mean, he had a 7-inning 2-run in there and a 7-inning 3-run, but the other 3 were pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I mean,
it's interesting to look at it in that light. Too.
Yeah, I remember the hot start, and I remember him definitely fading off. But I always thought he was going to be a bullpen piece, and obviously the Yankees thought that wasn't the right.
Obviously, because if the Yankees thought he was only going to be a bullpen piece, then they should have definitely traded him because bullpen pieces are a dime a dozen.
At that point, absolutely, you should have absolutely traded him if you had the opportunity as a starting pitcher. He reminds me of, and he doesn't have the control because Ian Kennedy has control and good control and is able to translate from starting pitcher to relief pitcher, but similar statue, similar, if you're looking for a career comp, I think that's what Davy Garcia should be looking at.
So the guys put in the chat that in 2019, Estevan Florial was the number 1 prospect in the Yankee system, and Garcia was the number 4 prospect. And Florial's facing a similar situation as Devi Garcia this spring.
Devi was number 4 in baseball? Or no, that's MLB.
Yankee system. Yankee system. But both of those guys are facing situations where just a few years ago they were top-ranked prospects for the Yankees, and now they're facing make the team or get DFA'd.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's what happened. That's what options are there for. Yeah, 3.28 start ERA after 4 starts, and then his last 2 were no bueno. Florial,
he's not a major league player. You can just see he's not a major league hitter. You see him; he does not have competitive at bats in the major leagues. He's a quad A player.
Yeah, or he's a defensive guy. But he can play good defense, so maybe that's his career, which is fine. There are a lot of guys that play good defensive outfield and don't have the plate skills that are needed to be a starter.
So I want you to put your doctor hat on for this next news topic.
It's always on.
DJ LeMahieu.
I don't need to take my hat off and put another one on. It's just on.
DJ LeMahieu says he's 100% healthy, but
Yeah.
he also said we weren't sure if we wanted to do surgery on the big toe, the second toe, or both. So
Right.
we did surgery on no toes.
Zero toes.
Zero toes.
Zero
so your
toes were
expert
hurt.
doctor opinion on they were considering doing surgery on one toe or two
Yeah.
toes, but
Yeah.
they decided to do surgery on zero toes.
Yeah. Okay. So, as everybody knows here, a lot of little tiny bones in the foot, right? A lot of things that can go wrong in the foot. A lot of things
Greg Bird
connected.
knows that.
Everybody knows that. A lot of, I mean, in it, more so in the foot than in most places in your body. A lot of small little bones. The big toe is connected to the foot, and then the toe next to the big toe also connected to the foot. When you have a pivot spot, from your big toe to your some call it a royal toe. I have a royal toe. It means that your second toe is bigger than the rest of your toes, which means royalty. If that toe is connected to a point that is not as structurally sound or not as stable, and it's being affected by that big toe, you might want to look at, okay, does surgery on my big toe fix the problem, or is the problem deeper? Does it continue down into the foot, which then affects that next toe as well? So I understand why they had some connection thoughts. Maybe it's not just this one toe, maybe it's the next toe, because there's collateral damage in the foot. Where I don't understand totally is that they're talking about surgery, rest, surgery. And now on February 21st, which is like, not even spring training really, he's 100%. It's a pretty significant jump, which, DJ's saying this. It's not other people saying this. DJ's talking about his health, which leads me to believe that, maybe it's probably not 100%. Like, this is a guy that would just be like, he gets shot in the arm and he's like, what are you talking about? It feels fine. He just goes out there. And
Yeah,
does
I
the
feel
job.
like DJ, if he's not 0%,
if you're looking for
he's 100%.
honest answers out of DJ LeMahieu to the media, you're looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, it's like, even if he's a little banged up, he's just going to say he's 100% because he's playing or not playing. I think Derek Jeter has had that comment before. He's like, I'm either playing or not playing. So what does it matter if I'm 83%? Am I playing? Well, then I'm 100% if I'm playing.
Right. You're right. That is a Jeter comment. So, that's where I see that. So, do I think he's 100%? Probably not. He's probably still working his way back there. But my
it's easy to
is,
be 100% on February 21st before you're really into baseball activities. On March 21st, after you've been doing baseball activities for a month or a month and a half, you might not be 100% anymore.
Right. And what is 100%? Is 100% of like of your
I've
limit?
never been 100% in my life. Okay. I know I'm not a professional athlete, but there's not been a day in my life where I'm like, I'm 100% today.
Well, is it 100% of what? Is it 100% of like the new normal, or is it 100% of like peak physical abilities? What does this mean? Because my 100% before camp and then 100% after camp they're very different. 100%, like very different. You know what I'm saying? So it's all relative, and you do have to get to the.
I would like to know
there's
what 100%
context that matters.
Feels like. Wouldn't you like to know what 100% feels like?
Just like in general, like my body, 100% right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I would.
For the next 5 minutes, you're gonna feel 100%.
They got drugs for that. They do. You could do that.
Yeah, I know. I know they've got drugs for that.
We could arrange this if you want. I'm not saying it's going to be legal.
There's been moments in my life where I felt 100%, but it was temporary and it was artificial. Okay.
Yeah, I've definitely felt like, above 100% at times, and it's great, and it feels like it's going to last forever until it doesn't.
Until 10 minutes later, you're like, oh no, I'm back to 60%. Yeah. So DJ.
So we don't. So yeah, this is a watch and see situation. We gotta. I'm definitely gonna have my eyes on DJ LeMahieu. But you know what? Bags are a little bigger, less ground to cover.
2 inches,
especially for the foot.
Another report is that the Yankees had interest in adding another starter even after they signed Rodon and before Frankie Montas' injury. This was reported by Andy Martino, and I think you. Taking your doctor hat off, putting your conspiracy hat on, this is because they knew that Montas was not going to be good for the season. And so, they were looking for more starting pitching. Yeah. They're like, oh, shit. We bought a lemon. We traded for a lemon. We got damaged goods. And the writing on the wall was that, shame on us for believing that the Yankees CSI staff of crack doctors went out there and gave him an evaluation that meant something. Shame on us. You were not on. So Logan and I did the emergency reaction because the last time we recorded, we didn't know about this yet.
Yeah, we had just stopped and I was in meetings. So it's so I haven't bitched about this one yet. Thank you for reminding me that I haven't complained about this one yet. No, but it's
just an all-timer.
It is an all-timer, and it has nothing to do with him. Actually, the person I'm least annoyed with is Frankie Montas.
Yeah,
because it's not his fault. He was hurt the whole time. Just a jackass franchise that said, "Oh, he's not hurt. Let's trade for him." Guys that could probably contribute on this team currently, we're going to get rid of. And just get this damaged goods guys because someone didn't do their job or multiple people didn't do their job and identify what really was an injury that was not over, he was not recovering from. It was a problem. And who knows how far it goes back? Who knows if he's got brittle bone disease and all these things from when he got popped? I don't know. Apparently the Yankees doctors don't know either, but yes, it's very frustrating. And they say that he's going to come back in the end of the season. Maybe he ain't coming back.
But who cares? He's a free agent after this year. I don't want him back for the end of this year, so he can pitch out of the bullpen in the playoffs. No thanks. So two things. I was thinking about this after last episode. They were desperate for starting pitching at the deadline last year, so they made the trade. And on paper, it was a great trade. If they found in the medicals at the time, he's not 100% healthy, so this might not be an immediate.
Of course they did. You're still rehabbing.
So a couple. Let me go. So if they found that, then what are you trading Jordan Montgomery for? I understand you got Harrison Bader, but you were not really acquiring a starting pitcher for the rest of the year in Frankie Montas. So that leads me to believe they completely missed the injury. And if that's the case, how has the entire medical staff, who has botched injury after injury after injury over the past 5 seasons, how do they still have jobs?
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to tape toes together and figure out which toe to do surgery on. It really is when you look back now, and Monday morning quarterback, I get it. But at the time of the trade,
what else are we to do? Of course,
Monday morning I know, but at the time of the trade, I was very happy about the trade.
I liked it.
Yeah, we didn't know as a fan base that this guy was injured still. You got to make some assumptions and believe that your team is going to go in there.
But we were confident that the health.
I don't know why we were confident that the Yankees staff made him, because it's not like this hasn't happened before. It happened with James Paxton as well. Like they've gotten pitchers that have had injuries that have the injuries have lingered and been an issue. Now Frankie Montas is going to be. Yeah, he's gonna leave. What's his ERA with the Yankees right now in the 6s? It's something. It's something
fine, like you said.
Terrible.
You don't blame Montas,
but that's his Yankee career. I know.
Don't look at his stats. He's injured. You've got an injured.
I'm saying
pitcher.
that the year that we thought we were going to get from him, he's not going to be able to right that ship. This is it. And what it does to me now, when I'm looking back at that time period, it makes the fact that they didn't go harder after Luis Castillo even worse, because Luis Castillo was in a similar situation where you get that guy for the next year. And if you're going between,
but you get a guy who's,
but if you're going between pitcher. Frankie Montas and Luis Castillo, all things equal, all parties healthy, okay, you could make an argument that well,
you're trading significantly less for Montas.
It's a different trade, but but because you've read the MRIs wrong and the X-rays.
You put a note in here that Cincinnati wanted Volpe and Peraza plus other pieces for Castillo. What did the Mariners end up trading? They did not trade. Did they trade their top 2 prospects? Because, well, I guess Peraza wasn't a top. I don't think it would have taken Volpe and Peraza.
No, I think a lot of those guys was going.
Are not accurate. And even if Volpe was going for that, I mean, that would have been a tough pill to swallow. But again, you could have solved the shortstop through the free agent market this winter. Okay, yeah, I know we all want Volpe to be the next shortstop of the Yankees for the next 20 years. We want him to be Derek Jeter 2.0. But there were options for this team to fix shortstop without Anthony Volpe. They traded their 1, 3, and 5 prospects. Okay, it's a huge package, but you're trading for an elite starting pitcher. That's what elite starting pitchers cost. And look what he did for them in the postseason.
And what did they? Well. What did they do? Those 1, 3, and 5 prospects on the MLB pipeline. I don't know how comparable they would be to a Volpe or Peraza, but yeah,
we did this at the time. I remember.
I know we did this at the time. I know we did this at the time. But at the same thing, it's like you need to understand the situation and evaluate better, because there were exactly what you just said. They got rid of Jordan Montgomery, who was, to me, on a a very solid starting pitcher and a guy that seemingly was just getting better. Still a very young guy, and you gave up on him. I understand we got a center fielder, but there are dominoes. There are dominoes because you thought you got a starting pitcher for this year and the next year, and that just wasn't the case.
Right. Last bit of news could impact the Yankees in the next year or so. Manny Machado says he plans to opt out after the 2023 season. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Apparently, the Padres offered him a 5-year, $105 million extension that would begin in 2029, so after his current deal. So they would have had him for 15 years total. But he's
2029, 5 years, so $20 million a year.
21 million.
What is that? Age 36.
I think he would be 37 then.
30. So from age 37 to 42, they offered him a contract.
37 to 41, I believe. His 37 to 41 seasons. Yeah,
not bad.
But that's after he finishes his 10-year, $300 million deal. So they would have had him for 15 years and $405 million. But he's saying, no, I'm going to opt out because he knows he's going to get another 10-year deal. Probably he's looking at these other deals at these shortstops and these, like, what did Devers just signed for 11?
Yeah, Devers is much younger.
I know that, but that's what he's going to use for AAV comps. He's going to use all of this stuff. Devers is 27 and Machado is going to be 31, 32. So Machado's going to be in the same situation.
Aaron Judge,
but also A-Rod was in when he opted out of his contract after the 2007 season. And A-Rod got 10 years, $275 million. Yeah,
how'd that work?
Horribly. But Machado is going to say, I want 10 years and $350 million because that's the going rate for an elite third baseman who's 31 years old.
Yeah.
And maybe he gets 9 years, maybe he gets 8 years with an option, whatever it is.
Sure.
He's getting more.
I bet he's going to look at now. Aaron Judge has set the market at the top for players. You got to look at the age. It's a pretty direct comp in age. Very high level of production. Obviously not 60 home runs plus, but a high level of production. Very good defense at a premium position. So he's going to get it, and he deserves it, and he would be fantastic. And I think that the Yankees should absolutely go after him.
Again, it's like 5 years. 5 years later, they get their man. 5 years. It's like when they signed Carlos Beltran finally. 10 years too late.
Well, they got their man. If you ask them, and it was Giancarlo Stanton.
That's right.
They got their guy.
If you guys have been listening to the show over the past month or so, you've been hearing us talk about Athletic Greens. Now is a fantastic time to add Athletic Greens to your daily routine. AG1 is a daily supplement packed with 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food-sourced ingredients, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. Benefits that I've noticed after drinking it every day, and I swear to God, I have not missed a single day since they sent us that first package, I believe in like early October. So going on 5 months now. Supporting my mental clarity and alertness, promotes gut health with pre and probiotics, better sleep quality and recovery, and it boosts my energy. Overall, I just feel better. Scott, again, putting your doctor hat on, like, what does that mean? I just feel better. Not, we said earlier, not 100%. If I keep doing Athletic Greens, maybe for another year, maybe it takes a year before I'm 100%.
Well, it's not Miracle Grow. It's food for your body. But you also have to treat your body with respect in other ways. So, who knows who does that, but this stuff is good. It gets your day going. I've said a number of times, the way I consume it is I put it in a bottle every week. I put the powder in a bottle every week, and I set them up for the entire week with the water. And so I have a nice cold AG1 in the morning, a little shake ski, go on the road, done. I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to worry about it. It's become a weekly routine for me now on Sundays. And it's good. It gives me, so coffee gets me alert, and I feel like the AG1 helps me sustain throughout the day. It's good. It makes me feel good. I'm not getting any younger. So, if I can get a little bit of a help here that's good for my body and doesn't affect me in negative ways, then I'm all about it. And that's exactly what it's done.
Yeah. AG1 contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial flavoring. Each serving costs less than $3. That's a small price to pay for all the good stuff you're putting into your body. Has over 7,000 5-star reviews and is trusted by athletes and health experts around the world. If you want to try it, go to athleticgreens.com/pinstripes. And if you buy AG1, you get a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs, which are also very handy. They come in a nice little envelope. You can just throw it in a backpack. And if you're traveling, you just, dump it in, shake it up, you're good to go. Thank you so much to Athletic Greens for sponsoring today's episode. Okay, so on the starting pitching sort of theme, Domingo German, I kind of feel like is kind of an important piece for this team this year. And Fangraphs has him projected for a 4.10 ERA, a 4.07 FIP, and 132 innings. And I was just doing some quick math. 132 innings is about 26 starts if he averages 5 innings per start. 26 starts out of Domingo German would be a significant contribution to this team this year. His career ERA is 4.37 and 4.46 FIP. He's been up and down, right? Like he's looked really good at times. The first half of 2018, I think he was much, much better than that. And then he's gone through many, many struggles, including those off-field problems. Last year, he was mostly solid, but I think he's an important piece because he's going to have to be an important piece.
He's going to have to be an important piece because of the lack of depth in the starting rotation. So yeah, he's also a guy. Let's say the Yankees go out there and make a move for a starting pitcher as well. Not that there are that many moves to be made, but if there were to be one, and German is still in the picture as a fringe starter, maybe he's in the beginning of the season as a 6th guy. I do think Nestor Cortes is going to be fine for the season. I think a lot of what we're hearing about the hamstring and all that is just like precautionary to keep him out of the WBC at this point. It doesn't seem like anything. Nobody's worried about him starting the season. German is an important cog because he can do a lot of different things. He can be stretched and be a starter. He can go into the bullpen. He could be a swing guy. There's a lot of different things that he can be. So yeah, he's on the field. He's got a lot of importance because of, the unknown and the fact that the Yankees don't have a ton of depth. He's a guy that they can have on the roster and continue to use as a depth piece. So, and I think we're going to see a lot of him early in the season because of, the limitations with pitch count and just how guys ease into the season. If they're using a quote 6-man rotation, we're going to see him get some opportunities there. And if he takes advantage of those opportunities, might be a mainstay in that rotation.
I mean, 132 innings is a lot. You think he gets that 25, 26 starts? You see him starting that many times this year?
I think
that's pretty much a regular starter. They're like, call 26 starts a regular starter.
It's between, so who's he competing with at this point right now as the roster stands? Clark Schmidt, because, Nestor Cortes, I don't think is going to be good to go for the first week of the season. Like the update that doesn't mean shit. He's going to be ready for the season, I think.
No, but here's what I'm saying. So Nestor Cortes on February 17th, the report was he tossed 24 pitches from the bullpen mound. He said he felt better than expected, and he's running about 70 to 75%. Wow, we got a lot of percentages on today's episode. Yeah. So not 100% yet out of Nestor Cortes. When I say he's not going to be ready to start the season the first week of, he's probably not going to make his first start of the year, but he'll start some point in April, I expect, which means right out of the gate, you're going to get you're going to get Domingo German and Clark Schmidt probably getting starts, unless you can skip some days, because I don't know how the off days are breaking in the first week of the season. There's always extra off days and shit. There's usually like rainouts and crap like that, snowouts in early April.
Snowouts, there's no snow. There's no snow to be seen anywhere.
That's true.
Global screwed warming with the snow.
But that's how it goes. It was 67 degrees here over the weekend, and April 1st on Yankees opening day, it's going to be sleeting. That's just how it goes. So what was I talking about?
That's what everybody is wondering. Honestly, everybody is wondering what the hell you're talking about.
Clark Schmidt and Domingo German, I think, are both going to make starts early in the season.
Right.
But I guess it's whoever pitches better in that time is going to stay in the rotation, because Montes is not going to be in the rotation, and the other guy will go to the bullpen.
Thank you. Yes. Ilya putting in here in the notes as well. German out of options. A lot of guys out of options right now, which limits the flexibility.
But I'm not even necessarily suggesting setting him down. He's too good to be in the minors.
I agree with you.
He's a major league pitcher.
Okay. So, but Clark Schmidt does have options. Like, he's got the ability to stay stretched out. And like you said, he's got the ability to be there in multiple spots. So I think that they need to stop dicking around with Clark Schmidt is the one guy that I think they need to stop dicking around with.
I agree with
and
that
make him
as
a
well.
starting pitcher because I think he's got the repertoire. He's got the ability to be he's got a higher ceiling as a starting pitcher. So I would prefer to see him in a spot, at least give him the opportunity to gain a spot there, because I think German has more value to the team as a swing guy.
Swing guy meaning long relief, or just can start or pitch in relief? It's hard to do that.
Both. I mean, like to me, a swing guy is it's getting the starting pitcher to the rest of the bullpen, but at the same time, it's like you could throw German out there in a start that's 3-3. So when Garrett Cole gives up a 3-run home run in the 5th inning, and it's they're down a run, or it's a tie game or whatever, you could bring in a guy like German to bridge the gap from the home run to the rest of the bullpen. Or the week after that, if someone were to come up with a blister, Domingo German's your starting pitcher and can go 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah.
And I would rather do that with him, a guy that has no options and really is as good as his success is this year, than a guy like Clark Schmidt, who has a much higher ceiling for the franchise.
Like, give Clark Schmidt a shot. Might
Yes.
not work out. You can fall back to Domingo German, because I feel like at this point, you know what Domingo German is. Just stick him back there. He's going to be the 5th starter. He's going to pitch to a 4.3 ERA, and you're just going to live with it. That's just.
I would love to see Clark Schmidt start the season as the number 5 starter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm down with that, assuming the spring trainings are equal. All right, last thing we've been meaning to talk about.
But spring training doesn't matter, so they don't even have to be equal. Just give it to them.
No, they matter when the stats are good. When the stats are bad, they don't matter.
It was.
Come on, we've gone over this for 7 straight years.
My point is, even if they're worse, I still want him to be the 5 starter, because again, don't matter.
Free agents that are still on the market that could sneakily help the Yankees if they so choose to sign them last minute. A couple of guys on this list that we've identified. Zach Britton, he's still out there. Yeah,
he's throwing for teams, right? He's throwing for. Yeah, I sound like Kemp. He's throwing for teams, putting a little showcase on.
Nice. Yeah, so you could see Zach Britton added back to the bullpen. Will Smith, only
I can't believe he's as young
old,
as he is.
20. I was like, Will Smith has been in the league for 15 years. He's got to be 36 years old, right? No, 27 years old.
That when I saw that blew my mind. I thought he was 35
also,
at least.
I was looking.
Are
at
there
this
multiple
yesterday.
Will Smiths that are bullpen pieces that throw sidearm?
So he was traded from Atlanta to Houston last year.
Yeah.
He was awful in Atlanta. 4.38 ERA, 5.22 FIP. Then he gets to Houston. And he pitches to 3.27 ERA, 2.66 FIP. Seriously.
Yeah.
What the fuck do they do in Houston?
A little talcum powder. A little juice talcum powder.
Everyone who goes there, whether you're a hitter, a pitcher, or whatever, you just start being filthy. You're just really good when you get there.
Bet his spin rate went up.
It's insane.
Throw a shot in the dark here.
Do they have yes, cheating. Not even mentioning cheating. Do they have
He's 33.
geniuses?
He's 33. Well, Ilya said he's 33. Will Smith, the catcher, is 27. Okay. So this makes so much more sense.
I looked up the wrong Will Smith, but I looked up the right Will Smith stats. Will Smith, the pitcher, 33 years old. Fine. Got it.
Will Smith, the actor. 53.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess. I was gonna say I'll go 54.
Oh, just taking the over. What a dick.
So, 54. Nailed it.
I got you there. You could give me half of that credit.
So, but seriously, does Houston just have like geniuses as their coaches and their analytics? Because everyone who goes there becomes an amazing player. It's insane.
Yeah, no, they do. They're good. They know what to look for. They know the adjustments to make.
Which is why I know they lost Verlander, but the rotation will probably add in some guy they call up in the minor leagues who's going to be top 5 Cy Young candidate, because that's what they do. They lose Carlos Correa. They get a new young shortstop who wins World Series MVP. We lose Justin Verlander. Oh, we've got this new guy who strikes out 15 guys a game and doesn't give up any home runs and pitches eight scoreless innings every night.
I remember a couple years ago when I was looking for like clear evidence of cheating and just looking for things to get mad about for Houston. I remember reading an article about them and the amount of cameras that they have in their facility. It was, I think, the Rapsodo cameras. Is that right? Where they have all of these. They had their organization owned a significant amount more of those cameras that they use for training and development than any other franchise. I'm sure it's caught up to other places have caught up, but I mean, it was significant. I don't remember the exact number, but it was like, triple, quadruple the amount that other franchises had. Like, these guys have been well ahead of the development curve and looking for little ways to make adjustments to improve guys based on their biomechanics, based on their grip, based on, the equipment that they have, based on the camera feeds that they have. They have all of these advanced analytics, and they have been well ahead of the game. So because they had such a big head start, with the equipment and with all of the mentality, who knows where they are right now? Like, they could be beyond the cusp, or a lot of other, like, people are catching up to them and they're still ahead. They do it well. They do it well. And yes, there's a checkered past with how they used a lot of that information. It doesn't mean that they don't have a lot of smart people and that they weren't going to the right place with how to use these analytics on the back end, not just for decisions.
Their player development is fantastic too, though.
It's for development. Yeah.
Yeah. Their development of players is really, really good and has helped them sustain, because yes, they've spent a little bit, but they're not spending like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, and all those teams. And so, yeah, it's insane and who knows, whatever they did for Will Smith, maybe he can just take that to the next team and be a filthy bullpen option.
I'm glad Will Smith is 33 years old and he's not 27, because that was going to drive me insane. I really thought I was going crazy.
Oops. Jerks and Profar, who we've talked about, he turned down the 1-year player option of $7.5 million. He had a 111 OPS plus with San Diego last year, but his Baseball Savant page is bizarre. I was looking at this yesterday. A lot of blue, a lot of red. So he doesn't strike out, which is good. He walks a lot, which is good. He doesn't hit the ball hard, though. He's low in the league in average exit velocity, hard hit percentage, barrel percentage. His expected slugging is really low. And he's not that great of an outfielder either. Below average, minus or bottom 9% for outs above average, but he's got a decently strong arm. Just a kind of polarizing player, highs and lows for Profar. But here's the thing. He could be a really cheap last minute option for the Yankees.
He also had an outlier last year. He had a very good season, that was significantly better than his previous year. So he's either figured something out, or it was a good fit. There's a good lineup out there, and maybe he was seeing a lot more balls over the plate, and he was just able to take advantage of that because he doesn't strike out a ton. I'm surprised that the barrel percentage was low when you see a guy that doesn't strike out as much, but clearly he makes a lot of contact, can spray the ball. I don't know, what's his spray chart look like? Is he a guy that goes all over the field? I would assume he is if the strikeouts are as low as they are. But that's going to be, he's going to benefit from the no shifting as well. So yeah, if you could get a guy like this on a 1-year deal who, as spring training continues to go, if he doesn't have a contract and he doesn't have a home, he's going to be looking for an opportunity where he can succeed and have a good season. And the Yankees are as good of a situation that you can look. They literally have a vacancy in the position that he played.
No, Judge.
Yeah. Okay. In the position that he played for the most part last year, he's got flexibility. He's played multiple positions, so he does have flexibility as a player. But if you're looking to capture 1 year and to bet on yourself and to try to stem that and show one more year of sustained play to get to a 3-year contract or 2 to 3 year contract in the offseason, the Yankees are as good of a spot as you could be. And if they could get him for what he turned out a 1 year $7 million option, so 10 million or around there, if the Yankees can go get a guy like
if it's
like
March
Profar
15th, March 20th, you're getting him for cheaper than that.
Fine. I mean, whatever it is, it's a matter.
But no
of
matter
2 to 3
what he
million.
signs for,
it's not a huge difference in what you're going to get him for. So if you like the player at this point, make a offer that's closer to that's higher than his option, and make the case where he can use it as a catapult. He's getting older. He's not younger.
He was looking for
needs a good year.
2 years, $30 million, according to John Morosi. So
yeah, he ain't getting that.
No. So no matter what the Yankees sign him or anyone else for, it puts them over the top tax threshold because they're right there. Another name that people I've seen this I've seen this on Twitter and I've seen this going around. Trevor Bauer. No, do not touch Trevor Bauer. Okay, I don't care if he could still be good. I do not want him on the Yankees.
Yeah, he's a cancer. He's you just don't touch him. You don't even need to go any more in depth on this one. You don't touch him. What does it say? How much did the Dodgers eat? They ate a lot of money to release him, correct? Because he was reinstated, and he had I kept calling it the Darrell Revis type contract, where it's now the
what we
Justin
thought he was going to do
contract.
He talked publicly about wanting to do that.
Oh, I know. That's fine. But you cannot touch him.
No, you can't touch him.
So I'm saying my point is that the Dodgers ate a shit ton of money to not have that guy in the building.
Yep. Yeah.
So don't do it. Don't touch it. Don't even think about it. And I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either. Some other names quickly. Tyler Naquin, Mike Minor, Rugi Odor.
What if Trevor Bauer goes to the Astros?
If Trevor Bauer goes to the Astros.
Doesn't that make a lot of sense?
That does make sense. And he'll win a Cy Young.
Yeah, that's going to really piss me off if he goes to the Astros.
Maybe he won't get the Cy Young votes because he's an asshole.
Because he's an asshole.
But he'll be a really good pitcher.
God damn it. That's going to happen, isn't it?
And he would nerd out over all those cameras. Although he has shit talked the Astros for all the cheating.
Even better. He's like he's a villain. He's
It's like two evil minds coming together, and he would nerd out on all the data and the analytics and every camera angle that they have, and his spin rate's gonna go through the roof, and he's already
there. That's probably a guy that doesn't get affected as much from going there because he already has all that. He's embraced all that stuff with his own.
I know. I'm not saying he would be impact. I'm just saying he would love it.
Yeah, it's not a good situation for anybody besides him, to be honest. And the Astros, I guess.
Do you think he gets a job? Do you think someone signs him? Because I think there's a chance no one signs him.
I think there's a very solid chance that he's blackballed from the league.
Yeah.
Which rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I could also see the Astros going and signing him, which would really
if there's one team that does it, it will be the Astros.
Yeah. Or God, what if the Red Sox went out and signed a guy like him? I could see that too.
The Red Sox are because
I could see that.
Sale, isn't there news that Sale had some soreness or something? Did I see that?
That's news. I mean, he woke up and he's sore. Talk about a guy who's not 100% ever.
Yeah. No, I mean the Red Sox are a last place team. They don't also need an asshole on the team and be a last place team. I think that Cora and the Red Sox think differently. I think that they think Cora's,
that they're smarter.
I
put some pieces together that can compete.
There was a thing going around. Cora was talking in his opening spring training press conference, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a tough division. We got to get a lot better."
Yeah, I mean, he's going to downplay it. That's what he does.
Yeah. All right. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, go check out Athletic Greens if you want to try it. Go check out the show on YouTube. Give us a subscription there. Like the video. Rate and review on Apple, Spotify, or whatever freaking platform you listen to. Scott, anything else you want to say?
Getting closer to games, man. WBC is going to start warming up soon. We got some action coming. I'm excited.
I've got something to say.
Yeah. Okay.
I have been talking about the Cashman history episode for 3 months. Ilya and I actually did it. Okay.
Nice.
It is fully recorded. It's about an hour's worth of recording. I think that'll get trimmed down to about 50 minutes. It's recorded. We just need to edit it. We need to find a few clips. Our goal is to put it out next week, a week from now. I don't know if it'll definitely happen then, but it will happen eventually. And I'm happy about it.
If not next week, soon after.
Yes.
Nice job, guys. I'm excited to listen to it.
Cool. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week.